Hello. My name is Allie, for those of you who don't know me, and I am the maker behind Crochet in the Mud. I make both crochet plushies as well as pottery. Today I am about to embark on a 6-day market. It is the largest market I've ever done, and I have a goal to make $6,000. Come along with me on my journey to see if I can make that $6,000 in 6 days. Today's video is going to be the prep the morning of. I have a couple of whips to finish up and just a couple of last minute things to do before we start the market tonight. It's market day, or more accurately, it's market week. So it's the morning of day one. Day one, I can start setting up at 1:30. It's currently 9:20 a.m. So we have a couple of things to do this morning. First of all is finish up my crochet kits. They are mostly done. I just need to add stuffing to all of them. So join me while I do that this morning. Today is to finish my Mooding plushie. I have one already in my market supplies, but I'm working on a second one so that I can figure out how much to price for it. So I'm going to time myself while I sew all of the pieces together, and then I'll catch back up with you. There she is. She just looks so cute. If you don't know who Mooding is, you need to look up pictures right now of her. She is a cutie pie, and this pattern is from Crochet by Jenna. So now we're on to the next step of today. So now I'm going to enter into my spreadsheet how long it took me to sew Mooding together so I can get my final price. So Mooding took me just under 2 hours. It was about 116 minutes. And now I need to measure the finished plushie so I can get the amount of stuffing I used. So my finished Mooding weighs 356 grams. I know that my stuffing weighed my yarn weighed 133 grams. So now I'm going to measure the eyes I used. Which are 5 grams. So now I have my material cost and my labor cost, and I'm going to figure out how much to charge for my Mooding. So for 2 hours of work, all my materials and a profit margin, Miss Mooding is going to be $82, it looks like. And And my last whips before we get to tagging everything that needs tagged are a couple of these pocket stingrays. They are really popular at markets for me and really quick to make up. So I like to have a lot of these for markets, and I have an entire bucket of these in tons of different colors. These are my two best sellers, whether it's my pocket stingrays or my pocket octopus. And this is Brene Blanket Mini Succulents, and this one is Brene Blanket Stormy Ocean. I always have to have these in stock, and currently I have 0 stingrays of either of these colors right now, which is not good. So I'm going to add some eyeballs to these, and then we're going to stuff them together. So I'm doing a 6-day market for Christmas. It is with a company I've never worked with before, but everybody in my state talks about them, about how amazing their markets are. But I have never been accepted into one of their markets before until now. So I'm hoping it goes well. But there are some signs that it might not. When I applied, the 6-day market booth fee was $2,000. Now that's a lot of money. And I decided to make a financial risk because I've always wanted to do a long market for Christmas. The longest market I've done is 3 days. And there are a lot of Christmas markets that go on for like the whole month, and they always seem really profitable, and it's just been a goal of mine to do one. So I signed up for it, and we got an email last week because they were doing 2 sessions. So the first half of the month was session 1, and then the second half was session 2, and some people signed up for the whole part. So I'm doing session 2, which is right before Christmas. It's December 17th through the 22nd. We got an email last week where they changed the market hours, so now it's 7 hours shorter. It was 37 hours, now it's 30 hours total between the 6 days. And they lowered our booth fee significantly from $2,000 to $100 a day plus 10% of sales. So it's not looking good in terms of, it doesn't sound like session 1 went very well. I also went on Sunday to the market just to look around because they provide tents for us, so I just wanted to see kind of like how the tent worked and see how I could get my lights to attach, which I'm very glad I went. It did teach me some things, but the one vendor I talked to said between there, I think he said they're doing 3 different Christmas markets. Between the 3, this is their absolute worst one. I still have high hopes. It is outside for 6 days in Colorado in the winter, so that'll be fun. But we do have plugins, so I have all the electricity I want, so I am bringing a heater. My goal is to make $6,000 over the 6 days, and because of there being a difference in number of hours every day, as well as the weekdays versus the weekend, obviously weekdays are going to be slower than the weekend, which also makes it rough because my market is Tuesday to Sunday, so I'm going to start with my slow days and then end with the busy days. I have a goal of $6,000, so because it's 30 hours over the 6 days, my goal is $200 an hour for the number of hours I'm there. So today is 4 to 8, so 4 hours. So my goal is to make $800 today. Hopefully we can do that. I don't think we will, but I can stay delusional and hope that we will make that $600 or $800 tonight. If we don't, that's okay. But it goes how it goes. It'll give me experience, and I can decide if I want to maybe try to do a different long market next Christmas. I also learned after I had signed up and paid the booth fee, a while after I had paid the booth fee, that apparently this is their first time doing this specific market. So that also doesn't help. It's downtown Denver, and it is around a whole bunch of shops. So hopefully when people are going to do last minute Christmas shopping there, they'll stumble upon our booths. Regardless, it is what it is, and the way I'm looking at it is that this will get my foot in the door with this company, and hopefully the other events that other vendors in the state rave about, I can do next year. I also will be, like any other market I do, I will bring yarn so I can crochet while I'm there. Especially because with a goal of $6,000, I don't have enough crochet plushies to make that. I do have enough products to make that amount. So let me pull up my spreadsheet just to see, because I keep track of my inventory of what I'm bringing to markets and how much I can possibly make with it. So if you didn't know, I do crochet plushies, and I also sell pottery. I do not track my pottery inventory. I track it on my website, but I don't track it on my spreadsheet. So I don't know how much pottery inventory I have, but I would guess probably 10,000. I have a lot of pottery. So hopefully that sells over these 6 days, because I have an overload. Like, I'm not bringing all of my pottery. I can't even fit it in my car if I wanted to. So let's see. Plushie wise, I have $2,909. I also have crochet kits, which you saw me prep earlier. I'm bringing 9 of them. I do have enough stuff to make. I have enough to make 23 kits, and I have 9 made. So what's that math? I can make 14 more and bring those later if I need to. It is 6 days after all. We're going to bring 9 and see how they go. This is my first time selling the crochet kits. I've had a lot of people this year saying, oh, you should learn to do that, or like, you know, talking to the people they're with, so-and-so knows how to do that, I want to learn how to do that. So now I have a reply of, hey, if you want to learn, you can, you know, buy my crochet kit. So hopefully those do well. I also have ear warmers and beanies, which don't typically do too well for me, but I have a new display, so I'm hoping that helps. And if you do the plushies, beanies, ear warmers, and crochet kits, the 9 I have made so far, I have $4,334 of inventory, plus my pottery, which I would guess I have about 10,000, and I also have stickers. And I have a lot of stickers that I will definitely not sell all of. So between all of the things, I'm hoping we can hit the $6,000. I'm really hoping pottery does well. Usually at my markets, crochet does really well, but the pottery doesn't typically. Normally I'll sell a handful of things. People do love my herb strippers, which I'll show you when we get to the market what my herb stripper looks like. It is a tiny bowl, and then it has different sized holes that you pull the herb through. And now that I've put a sign out about what they are, people love them, and I can't keep them in stock. I think I have 25 of them right now, and I'm hoping that's enough to last the 6-day market. And I'm also trying something new with my pottery, because I have a lot of mugs. And mugs are a little bit harder. Like, nobody sees herb strippers that often. So that's a unique thing, and that's also partly why they're my best-selling pottery piece. But I have a lot of mugs. I enjoy making mugs, and I want to make more mugs in the new year because I found some new glaze combos I really like, and I really want to do them, and they look best on mugs. But tangent aside, I am doing with every mug purchase, they get a free hot chocolate or a hot tea packet. So I'm hoping that helps incentivize a little bit. Especially if you're buying it for somebody else, it's a bonus gift inside. So I'm trying a couple new things tonight. Hopefully it does well. Hopefully I don't freeze my butt off. And I'll bring you along for the ride. So hopefully it's a good day. It'll be day 1. And at least hopefully I can see what the best sellers are going to be. Because if you've never done a market before, your best seller at one market is not going to be your best seller at your next market. It seems to stay consistent, like at that location. Like, I have a market I do that they do monthly from May to September, and I seem to have the same best sellers every time I go to that location. But so I don't know exactly what to expect today. Hopefully I'll see what the best sellers are and I can work on prepping those, because the earliest day is the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe they start at 1. I'll have to check because they changed the hours on me. But I believe the new hours, the earliest day I have starts at 1 o'clock. So I at least have the morning, especially for my Tuesday, or today, Wednesday, and Thursday. I don't start sales until 4. So I have a good chunk in the morning that I can prep a little bit. And while I'm at the market not selling, I'll probably be making plushies at the market and then stuffing them in the mornings and then bringing the finished piece. We'll see how my routine ends up going. I know tonight my plan is to make more stingrays, octopus, and my baby whales. Especially baby whales. I don't have a lot of baby whales, but between those 3, the whales are the worst seller. So tonight's plan is to just stock up on the pocket plushies. I have a plan to put a sign on my little tower that I store them in that says perfect last minute stocking stuffers. They're tiny, they're $12, they're my cheapest item, so hopefully those go really well. They normally do. I have quite a lot of them, not as much as I'd like to have, but hopefully those do well tonight, and we'll see how it goes, and I'll check in with you while we're at the market. Now I've finished all the whips, so it is time to tag everything. So it shouldn't take too long. I think we have 30 plushies to tag. I'm gonna go print them out and then we can tag them together. So I was very wrong. 54 plushies to tag, but we're doing good on time. It's only 10:50. I think I want to leave here like 12:45, so I do need to eat lunch in that time though, but we're doing plenty good on time. I just pinched my finger. I'm sure if you also do markets like I do, you've also probably had an off year. People say it's been the economy, and then on election years people don't want to spend money as much. I've definitely noticed. I keep track of my sales and I like to compare to the prior year. Last year was really good and I was frequently, consistently beating 2022 sales. And this year, I am not so much. So I do this full time, which does not make it easy when sales are not where they should be. For the year, I am think I'm still $5,000 behind last year. So if we make my goal of $6,000 this week, then we will have beaten last year. But hopefully that happens. I'm hoping that, especially with me being out right before Christmas, and the last 2 days are the weekend before Christmas. So Christmas is Wednesday this year. And I know from experience at my store that I sell in, I'm part of a consignment store where I pay them rent and then a percentage of sales, and then I restock and they sell my stuff for me. Where it's always been Christmas Eve is a big shopping day, and especially the weekend before. I believe last year Christmas Eve was on the weekend, or it was something like that, and it was insane. So hopefully, with me being out the weekend before Christmas, people are out shopping and they'll stop by and buy my stuff. While it would be nice to sell out, I guess that's technically the goal this year. My best market of all time, 2 years in a row, hopefully continuing to next year, or if I get the 6,000, this will beat it. Doesn't count though of a 2-day market versus a 6-day market of beating it. Depends on, I guess, who you ask. Anyway, my best market is a Pride market here in Colorado. 2 years in a row, it's been my best market. I nearly sold out this year. So the market is in June, because it's a Pride market, and it's 2 days long. But this year, I was out of town for most of May. My fiance and I, we got engaged while we were there in Europe over May. But we have been planning for that trip for, I think, 2 years. It's been booked and we've been paying it. We finally went in May, which then meant right before the market I was not prepping. So I still had a lot of stuff. And I think I did 3,500 over those 2 days. And that's the closest I've ever gotten to selling out. I'll insert a photo here if I can find it of what I ended with. And rather than celebrating, which I thought I would because I nearly sold out, instead I was internally kicking myself, because if I had just prepped better, I could have made more money. It's always an internal struggle. So I don't know how I would react this time, because I mean, I guess I could have done a little better market prepping wise. I've been struggling with a little bit of burnout leading up to the Christmas season. I think after, it probably hit right after Halloween. I was really enjoying making my Halloween plushies. I loved making ghosts. I loved this pattern right here with the ghosts with hats on them. They were so adorable. Customers also loved them. And then I think it was shortly after that I just didn't want to work anymore. Or not that I didn't want to crochet necessarily. I did not, for the life of me, want to make my bestsellers anymore. I was tired of them. I didn't want to. And it was really hard to push myself to doing it, so I was slower at prepping than I normally would have been. But you gotta give yourself some leniency. Dealing with burnout is a real thing. And if you don't let yourself relax, it's just gonna get worse. I've got my little ducky. So if I hadn't gotten burnt out of making my bestsellers, maybe I could have had more. But there's always coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know, I have what I have. It's a decent amount. If I sell out, I think I would be happy. I don't think I would beat myself up. But I do have a plan of, if I have leftover plushies, I'm going to bring them to my consignment store on Monday the 23rd to have a little bit more inventory for Christmas Eve. Because it's also a game of, you know, how much should I give to my store versus how much do I hold for my market. So I'm hoping, if I do bad, then I'll be mad at myself because I could have given my store more plushies. It's just how this job works, you know? Maybe it's just me. I am always in my head about what I could have done better. But I'm excited for January to roll around because that's going to start the first quarter of the year, which is usually pretty slow. And I am excited to try out new patterns. I'm going to try to make some more patterns of my own. If you didn't know, I do currently have 2 patterns. I have a sloth pattern and I have a chocolate kiss pattern. And I've got my chicken. Both of those are going to be linked in the description. I sell them on my website. That's going to be the cheapest place you can buy them. You can also get them on Etsy and Ribbler. The prices are a little more expensive on Etsy just because they take such a high fee, whereas my website doesn't. So if you want to spend the extra $1 to use Etsy, I don't blame you. I do the same thing sometimes because I like to add a bunch of patterns to my cart when I see them. And then when I'm feeling like doing a new pattern, I go through my Etsy cart and buy the ones I want. But it's just how I like to do it. If you have a pattern that you really enjoy doing, if you would tag it below for me, I would appreciate it just so I can have some more to check out. I have quite a lot of patterns that I've bought. I messed something up. I printed a sticker off I didn't need. But that's okay. We have one cat. This one's the tuxedo cat. Sometimes I wonder if I have quite a lot of currently my rotating. I bring them to every market. And while variety is good, sometimes it's overwhelming. So I don't know if I need to narrow it down. I have a calico cat here. Most of the time, my pocket plushies do well. So that's going to be my pocket octopus, stingray, and whale. Partially because they are the cheapest ones. I think it's mostly because they're the cheapest ones. Then we have this cat, which is made with Bernay tweed. Axolotls always do well. My possum pattern, which is from Crochet by Jenna. It's her possum pattern. That one always does really well. What else? The chicken I just showed you always does well. When I did my Pride Market in June, I was trying to focus on having more Pride plushies than my normal plushies. And I had 5 chickens and 5 possums. Both of those were gone within 30 minutes. So I know for 2025 I need to bring more. It truly is a game of try it, and then you have to adjust for next year. I wish there was some magic way that you could know exactly how well a plushie will do at a market and what to bring and what not to bring. If only. I'm definitely going to focus 2025 on doing bigger festivals. I really enjoy doing Pride because they have such a big turnout. It's my best market. I really get the most out of my time because there are so many people. I believe they said in 2022, over the 2 days, 12,000 people came. If I have that number correct, which is quite a lot of people. It is definitely an overwhelming weekend. I definitely cannot do that market by myself. And it's an hour away from where I live. It's also right next to the store that I sell in. And even though it's an hour away, we got a hotel room. My fiance insisted on it. I thought he was crazy. I was like, dude, we don't need a hotel room. It's an hour drive. I'm very glad we did because we got back to the hotel. I think it was like 7:30 and I went to bed. So I'm hoping to do more of those markets. One a month would be great, and then only have that one market a month. That way you can focus on putting all of your eggs into the one basket. Whereas currently I'm doing, over the summer, I was doing about 3 weekends and then 1 weekend off of markets, which definitely requires you to prep during the beginning of the year when markets are very few and far between. But I'm hoping if I do bigger festivals, I can have more weekends off and have, as my fiance calls it, a normal people weekend. It's been very nice for November because of the 6-day market. I think I only did 1 market in November to kind of help me be able to prep for Christmas. And November was very nice, having the weekends off and then working during the week. Lately I've been trying to work when he's at work to have more of a work-life balance. That's the hard part about being self-employed, is you don't have somebody telling you when your hours are. And sometimes I don't take the life part of the work-life balance. So it's helpful when I set my hours to be his work hours. In case anyone wanted more info about my bee kit, I designed this on Etsy. Or not Etsy. I designed the cover on Canva. And then there's the back side. I did put enough in there to make 2 plushies, which is a little bit different than most people's. And then this is the product it makes. It's a little bee. I'm starting off with the bee. And then my plan is for Valentine's Day, so probably in January at my market, or not my market, at the store I sell at, as well as online, I'll make some kits with my chocolate kiss pattern, and hopefully people will like that. And my plan is to do multiple colors, so you can have an option of what colored chocolate kiss you want to make. And I also want to make my sloth pattern into a crochet kit. That one is a little bit more complicated and not quite beginner friendly. Like, definitely wouldn't recommend it for kids to grab, but an adult probably would be able to get it. but the bee kit should be easy for all ages to figure out. Sorry, my camera died. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I am getting ready to leave to go set up for my market today. So stick along for the next one where I will set up and take you along on day one with me. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.